Hey YouTubers, it's your boy Rich, Level 10 Photography. Doing this video to show the quality of the Gato intake manifold for the Mitsubishi G54B, which a lot of guys know as the Starion or the Conquest TSI. This is a very well built intake manifold, very well built. It's a billet, hand welded intake manifold, and it retails about 15 to 1900 bucks on depending on what else you're looking for. If you want dual fuel rails, and my manifold has a skunk 2 90mm throttle body, as you can see. And I'm using a Honda 4-bar map sensor, as you can see here, with all the Honda connections I need. This is the actual plug for this Honda 4-bar map sensor. And the reason why you should really consider using a multi-port on the throttle body injection Mitsubishi Starion. A lot of mistake I see a lot of guys make on when I read the forums. A lot of guys, you swap out the G54B because you claim it's a horrible motor. No, it's not a horrible motor. I got a saying, only bad mechanics blame their tools. A lot of you guys expect to have a 31-year-old car and think your fuel system is running at 100%. That's not, it's not feasible. You can't expect a 31-year-old ignition and fuel system to run the way it did when it was brand new. You have these motors, you try to bolt on bigger turbos, bunch of modifications, and the main important thing that you guys don't do, you don't make sure that the car is running at 100% factory specs before you modify it. I'm on my 11th Starion right now, and I've never blown a motor. Never blown a motor. Reason why is because I always take my time and I replace everything, every vacuum line, every sensor, injectors. I have a throttle body injection running 18 pounds of boost in a stock block, and I don't blow up. But that's thanks to help from the Super AFC, which allows you to max out the duty cycle of the injectors. A lot of you guys who do swap the motors out, I wouldn't swap it, and I wouldn't recommend swapping it, because when you put an inline 6 like the 2JZ or the 1JZ inside, or you throw in these V8s, now you're throwing off the overall balance of the car. And to me, that's very important when it comes to racing. For you guys who are not racing, it doesn't make sense to swap it. If you're gonna swap it, at least get a 4G63. Push the motor back more to the firewall. Bring the center of gravity lower. It's a very fun car to have, and you just gotta do your updates. You can see, very well built intake manifold. This is a very nice throttle body. This is a skunk 2 billet throttle body. And yeah, we are interchanging parts. Honda map sensor and Honda TPS. I'm going to be using the Haltech Elite 1500 with this setup. Running 1600cc injectors. The car is going to be on E85 and a stock block, because I decided to build a bone stock block just to show you guys what the motor is capable of doing stock. When I mean stock, I'm talking about the factory rods and factory pistons are still there. but it's a non-jet valve head, but it's a heavily modified head. And we're gonna be pushing for 350, 400 wheel horsepower with the stock block. You know, all I did to the block was have it honed. New rings, new rod bearings, main bearings were installed. It's 100% stock. Well, this is, if you guys don't think you can make enough power, well, you might as well think twice, because this manifold is all you need to make all the power you need with a G54B. I've seen guys make 400 or 500 wheel horsepower, very reliable, no problems, and still have the car. And they have guys with 700, 800 horsepower G54Bs and still have their car running the 85. You know, it's I think it's the younger generation who really don't know about these cars that, you know, tend to do motor swaps. But just imagine if you didn't have a motor swap, what would you do? The best thing to do is to work with what you have, make it better. And just for let you guys know too, they have not stopped making parts for this motor. They're making parts up to this day, like 4G race design. They make the billet valve covers. You know, they make cam gears. They make billet cams. Sakura Motorsports from Puerto Rico makes the billet crank, billet main caps. You know, it's just up to how deep your pocket is. It's just as expensive as a regular car to make, to go fast. You know, just think about it. You spend $3,000 on a motor, then you're gonna spend another maybe $1,200, $1,500 fitting that motor in there and doing all the swaps. The money you're spending, you could already been at 400 or 500 horses already by doing a motor swap. You know, like I said, if you can't find anything for this car, you know, leave a link, leave a comment. I'll tell you, you tell me what you can't find, and I'll tell you who makes it. You know, I'm gonna always have one of these cars. You know, the Starion was my first turbo car, but then I fell in love with the rotaries. So after this Starion build, I have a 2005 BMW 545, which I will be doing a 2J swap in. And from there, I'm going to be building a third generation RX-7. It's not going to be a track car, it's going to be a street car. You know, to show the reliability, because people still, after years of proving over and over how reliable the rotary is, people are still asking, you know, why? You know, the question is, why not? I think honestly the best motor to go racing with, drag racing, road racing, time attack, drifting, will always be a rotary. And if I was going to swap my G54B and my Mitsubishi Starion, it would be a 20B. You know, just to keep the weight and the balance. With the balance, it'll be a lot better than what it is. So all you guys who's looking to make a decent amount of power, believe it or not, with 500 wheel horsepower with these cars, the amount of ass whooping you can dish out with 500 wheel horsepower is not even funny. You know, I have friends, you know, I've helped design cars, build cars. I'm making close to 500 wheels that I run 10 seconds in a quarter mile. And do you know why? It's not because we know how to apply our power. Then you have cars that make 700, 800 horses but can't run a 10-second pass. Why is that? Applying your power. Well, YouTube, I hope you enjoyed this video. You know, if you do have a Starion, you have questions, you know, hit me up anytime. And go get yourself one of these intake manifolds. And for those guys out there who are looking at the Magna intake manifold for the G54B, it's only good for 600 horses. If you really want your G54B to really breathe, this is what you need. Alright, hit that like and subscribe. Later, guys.